Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. Now, I guess there's a little bit of a delay here, so I am going to go straight into live chat. Maybe that'll help me speed it up here. How's everybody doing today? I tell you what, I love coming in here. This is what I look forward to about Mondays. And it's really funny because we're working on changing a lot of things, and maybe that's why it's kind of slowing down just a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so I can hear that there. Maybe that's why it's slowing down a little bit. We've kind of been tweaking things, playing with things, working on things to make it better. Uh, let's go. I like that. Mitchell's review. Where did you get that green pipe wrench? Well, brother, that's a regular rigid pipe wrench, and I've had some of them. I spray paint some of them. I powder coat some of them. I do different things. So I've had fun with them, and that one I think is painted. I'm actually looking at it right down here at the monitor. That one I think is painted, but I've got some that I actually carried down, had powder coated, and man, I mean, the guy did a good job, but he didn't take it apart like I asked him to. He literally did the entire thing green, the jaws, the wheel, everything. And I'm like, man, take this apart. Let's do that. So anyway, I thought about taking apart another one and just carrying what I want powder coated, because the green ones, dude, I love them. And those of y'all that don't know, my plumbing company is Texas Green Plumbing, right here. So, that's why I focus on a lot of green things, and the fact that I'm a lead AP. I was a member of Green Plumbers USA for a long time, and man, anyway, it's just it's a lot of fun. But I focus on green because I believe in water conservation, and I did that because when I was going to continuing ed back before I got into the union, I walked in and we're sitting there talking before the deal, and the instructor got up to talk. And the one thing that he said that literally blew my mind, he said, 20 years from now, your grandchildren will not have access to water the way that you do. And that just hit me really hard, because I've got two granddaughters and had them at the time. And I was like, you know what? I want them to have access to water. So I started focusing on water conservation, on green water, on not green water, but doing what we can to keep water around. And man, I've had fun with it. But anyway, that's why almost everything we do, we talk about green. So that's why I named my company Texas Green Plumbing. So let me see here. I got a thing I need to go away. There we go. All right. So Mitchell's review, that's it. That one there is actually spray painted. Victor Jimenez, how we doing? Good to have you in here. Salatiti, how much is a plumber salary? Man, it really depends on where you live, because the truth about it is it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it doesn't matter. Different countries pay different. Different parts of the United States pay different. I got even different cities in Texas pay different. And a lot of it will depend on what kind of work you're doing, what kind of company you're working for. Do you get a lot of benefits? Do you not get a lot of benefits? A plumber can make really, really good money. And, those of y'all that know me know I'm a union plumber here in the Dallas area. I have been a union plumber since 97, but I have people ask me all the time how to get into plumbing, either in the union or not in the union. And it really doesn't matter to me which people prefer. I've done both. So I'm a really good person to talk to them about what it is they want to do. And that's what I want to do is be able to help them. So, man, it depends on where you're at. I know that right now in the Dallas area, apprentices are starting out at about $16.50 an hour, somewhere around in there. And I know that they just got raises. Journeymen are up around 33, 34. So, it's actually pretty good right now. So there we go. James Cunningham, good to have you in here. Barney Films 85, I'm doing great. It is good to have you in here again. As y'all can see, we got a second camera in here now. We're doing things a little bit different. we're always trying to get better, and we're always trying to make it more interesting, more fun. And anyway, just let me know what you think about that. It's kind of a second view over my shoulder here, showing you what's on the back wall where you get to see all the shelf. So, man, we are having fun and looking forward to it. You're not old, you're ancient. Welcome back. It's good to have you in here. Man, everything's up. It is going well. We have been busy. We are running. I've got a lot of good stuff going on. The sponsorship wall may not be that bare for much longer. I've got some speaking gigs coming up. I've got to speak to, I think it's 600 real estate agents this Thursday. I've been going to Houston every week, doing some work down there. So there's a lot going on, but man, it is all wonderful. Christopher Salas, how are you? Victor Jimenez, is it true that it's hard to transfer to other unions as a journeyman? You know, for the most part, I'm going to say no. And the reason I say that is if there's work going on where you want to go to, it's really easy. You call your business agent, you call your business manager, you transfer your book, or you can just travel, whichever way you want to do it. If you know you're moving there permanently, it can be worked out. The good thing is you can get letters of recommendation from your employers and get them to the people that you want to go to work for. And if they're looking for help, they'll get you in there. And it's always a good thing to do. Now, if you want to transfer to someplace and they're not looking for a lot of people, it can be kind of hard because it's just kind of hard for them just to create a job to bring you in. But think about it. It's going to be that way even if you're open shop. If you just want to transfer someplace, you may not be able to get in. And I say transfer someplace. If somebody wanted to move to Dallas right now and we don't need plumbers, we don't need much of anything, it is what it is. You know, if you want to move here and there's not a lot of people hiring, it's going to be hard to get a job. It's the same way with the union. Because if open shops probably not needing a lot of people, the union may not be either. But, man, I say, look, it's still worth getting in and trying just to see what you can do. James Cunningham, good to have you here. Thank you so much. Etienne Temblay, welcome back. Good to have you here. Let me slide back up. Man, this wheel is jumpy. Sayden, how are you, sir? Will Rosebrock, thank you very much. We do have a delay. We understand that. Will has helped set my things up. Will's been in here most of the day, setting up the second camera, setting up the different camera views, the different angles, the thirds that we have on the bottom. Y'all see me kind of reach down and touching things. I've got a tool down here that I can reach down and touch, and it makes it go from this camera to this camera, from a lower third to no lower third, and it's just kind of cool. So anyway, we are continuously trying to get better, so to me, that's what it's all about. So Lake Barksdale, welcome back. Here in Michigan, it takes 3 years to get your journeyman license. If I were to move to Texas after passing the journeyman license test here in Michigan, how would the transfer work for a license? Lake, here's how it is. And this is to the best of my understanding. Once you have your license, you can come to Texas and get a provisional, meaning you're a journeyman plumber. And I believe it's good for 6 months or until you can get down and take the plumbing exam. If you pass the plumbing exam, you're a journeyman. If you don't pass it, then I think you either go back to an apprentice or a tradesman or whatever it is. So, you know, passing your license is a big deal and coming with it is a big deal. I would contact the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners and ask them. The reason I say that is they're going to be the ones who can give you, the factual steps. Yes, you can. Here's how you do it. Here's what you got to do, and go from there. It would be a lot easier, I would think, to get your license first. At least that gives you a little credibility here. You come down, you show up, and you say, hey, look, I've got this. I've passed the test. I've done this, and it's all good. Plumber Posse, the Urban Explorer, is in the house. Neil, it is good to have you here, brother. I tell you what, I like what you're doing. I saw the deal the other day, the voiceover thing you're doing for a couple of people. That is really cool. Uh, Man, I know a lot of great people, and I am so lucky to have them around. Uh, Victor Jimenez, you got deleted or ejected or terminated. Stanley Brown, excellent information. Thank you so much. Jim Brandt, good to have you in here again. David Madrigal, can you remove the sticker from the gas control valve only, or do you need to buy a new one? Can you remove the sticker from the gas control valve? I don't understand, why would you want to remove the sticker? What sticker are you talking about? Can you remove the sticker? Is that if you convert it over to LP or something like that? I'm not sure quite where you're going. Matt Lent, good to have you here. Sponsors Wall News is coming. It is coming. We've, guys, here's the deal. We spend a lot of money on all the equipment and the software and everything to do all this. And I ask people all the time, like, what would it bother you if we had sponsorship opportunities and things like that going on? And, most people say, no, look, it wouldn't. We understand. Don't get me wrong. I never want to be the guy to just stand up here and sell you stuff. But I've been in the trade long enough. I know what products I like. I know what materials I like. I know what I believe in. And part of me educating young people wanting to get into the trades is also telling them what I think is good and what I think is bad. And don't get me wrong, I'm not always perfect, but I'm always right. Not really, but yeah. Thank God my wife isn't in here. She'd say, yeah, you think you are. The thing is, to be honest, is I love certain products. I've used them for a long time. I believe in them. I've got a history with them. And I love certain suppliers, certain manufacturers, not just product, but, it's funny because one of the supply houses I use asked me, and I actually had another supply house contact me and said, hey, look, would you start using us? And I'm like, why? And they said, well, who do you use now? And I told them, they said, why do you use them? And I said, well, the truth is because we've got a reputation. They came in, they introduced themselves, they built up the relationship before ever trying to sell me. And, through social media, through networking, through everything we do, I understand that. You build that reputation. You build the relationship. You help people before you ever ask for anything. And to me, that's what it's all about, is I want to help and do things like that. So anyway, when it came time for me to start looking at who would I want to work with, of course, that supply house came up number one. And been talking to them. I've got a lot of manufacturers that I've been talking to, and this is stuff that I really like. It's not like it's, Widgets water heaters is calling me, and they want to pay me a ton of money for me to tell y'all Widgets water heaters are amazing, and I've never used Widgets water heaters. So, I look at it like this. If I believe in their system and their product long enough that I want to introduce y'all to it, man, I think it's great. And then they can help me pay for cameras and equipment and videos and people and everything that we do. So, yes, the sponsor wall is something we're working on, and it is coming soon. MG, starting an apprenticeship program this month and thinking of starting a YouTube channel like me. Is there any rules against wearing a body cam and showing the day-to-day process? MG, there's not. We've got a body cam, we've got a head cam, we've got glasses that have video recorders in them. I've got gimbals, I've got drones, I've got everything. Now, I will tell you this, depending on what kind of work you're doing, your plumbing company can say yes or no whether you can do that. The contractor or homeowner that you may be working for, depending on whether it's commercial or residential, they may not want you videoing stuff in their house. And I've had some homeowners that when I come up and say, hey, we're shooting video for YouTube, we'd really like to, they're like, I really don't want you to shoot in my house. Okay. Can't argue with it. It's their house. It's their right. So, we have the opportunity to do whatever we want to do as long as it doesn't infringe upon other people. And when they say, hey, I'd really rather you not video in my house, man, that's their prerogative. So check with your boss first, the owner of the company, make sure they're good with it. And there's a lot of good ways to do it. And guys, there are other people in YouTube that are doing stuff like that already. And there's some out there that are really good. There's some out there that need a lot of help, but man, at least they're out there trying. And you notice I didn't say they're bad. I just said they need some help. And that's kind of what we do, is we help a lot of people do that. But at the end of the day, what it all gets down to is, look, if you have permissions to video, you can pretty much do what you want to do. But make sure you get those permissions. Make sure you get things signed off. That way nobody ever comes back and says, hey, they didn't have permission to do that. If you've got a video that you made a ton of money from, which, don't get me wrong, I don't have any yet, but you got a video you've made a ton of money on, and somebody comes in and says, hey, we don't want you showing that video. That's our video. That's our house, or you didn't have permission, or whatever the case may be. That's a bad time to lose it. So think about it. Say-din. Why do you think plumbing isn't learned as much? Because what I'm hearing about sounds really good. Man, I completely agree with you. It does sound good. Here's the thing is, I think a lot of younger guys, and I say guys, and I don't mean guys that's not sexually oriented one way or the other. I saw the neatest thing, man, I wish I could show y'all. It's something that we're going to work on because I saved this video. But, I think more people want to work in front of a computer. I think more people want to work in a nice office. They want to work in the AC. They don't want to get out and get dirty and get under houses. I went to work with a group of people this last summer, and there were 2 or 3 of them that are like, look, I just don't want to get dirty. I do not want to get dirty. And you know what? It's a phobe that people have, and there's nothing I can do about it. But at the end of the day, they don't have to. And, I talk all the time about getting into the trades and how good it would be for people. And I think it was Mike Rowe that said, look, we've got over $5 trillion in student loan debt for people that aren't working in the field they chose. And we've got over 5 million open trades jobs that we would love to have people in. So a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different ways to look at it. And I think it's great. And that's why I've got into it, and that's why I love it as much as I do. So, Say-din, where are you from? Joe, hey, Roger, do you agree with the saying plumbers are the millionaires of the future? If so, would you say that about working for a small or big company, or owning your own company? Joe, here's the deal. Yeah, plumbers, and I'm not going to say just are the millionaires of the futures, but they can be. If I were doing things operationally excellent, if I were watching every dollar like I should be, let me say it again, like I should be, and not spending money on social media, spending money on video equipment, spending money marketing the social media end of it, doing everything that I'm doing there, I'd be doing a lot better off. I do own a company. It's a union residential service company. And there's things that I could change to make it where I can make more money. At the end of the day, it's not all about money. Me and my wife understood whenever we started doing social media and doing it as much as we were, look, we're not going to get rich off the plumbing company because we're re-spending all that money in the company, in social media, doing different things. You've got Neil in here, the Urban Explorer. And guys, if you have not checked out his channel, go over there and check it out. Look at what he does. Man, it's cool. I love going over and watching what he does. Guys, just check it out. And anybody who's interested in doing YouTube at all, look at what other people do. Not just me. Look at Neil. You got Paul Peck Drywall Tube. Check out what he does. You want to talk about people that are just great people. Learn what they do. Learn how they do it. And do a little R&D. Rip off and duplicate. Rip off what we're doing and then duplicate it. Rebuild it. It's not rocket science anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot to learn to do it right, but you got people to watch, people to emulate. It's really easy to do. So yes, you can get rich. You can be a millionaire if you want to. That part is up to you. Can you do it with a big or small company? Yes. You can be the only salesperson at a small company and make great money. You could be at a big company and possibly make more. You can open your own company. You can open your own small company and live an amazing life with one truck. And there's nothing wrong with that. So it's not always about just becoming a millionaire. It's about being happy. It's about having freedom to do what you want to do and things like that. And to me, that's what it's all about. So, Matt Lent, do you guys prefer vans or pickups with space caps? Don't know what a space cap is. Matt, where are you from? Just because I've never heard it worded that way. We've got vans. What I would like to get into is a big Hackney, something like that, like a big box truck with a separate cab. I love those things. So, that's what I would love to get into. And we're always looking at what can we change? What can we do? How can we improve next? And I really think that that's one of the changes that we're going to be going to is a different fleet of vehicles. When you start your own business, and those of y'all that have heard my story know, I walked out of a full-time job, director of operations at a mechanical contractor. I walked out and started my own company. Like I walked out Friday and I had my own company Monday. And don't get me wrong, I'd been kind of preparing for it a little bit, but when I say preparing for it, I had a name, I had a cell phone. I may have had some business cards, but the thing is, I was not prepared. I didn't have, a savings account. I didn't have a lot of things to support me. So I just had to get out and hustle. And man, I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at getting out and talking to real estate agents, talking to people that can help refer work to me, learning how to network. Oh my God, biggest thing in the world. So, man, back to your question, I prefer vans. The Sprinters are great. We know we need to grow and we know what it's going to take to do it. So that's it. James Cunningham, did you ever get a chance to look at the water heater dolly? I think, yes, I did. Yes, that is cool. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever seen the toilet dolly? There's literally, and I think it's a 4-wheel dolly. It's got a T-bar you put down in the toilet, a little dial, you crank it up and lift it. That way you can slide the bowl back, lower it down, set it right where you want. And guys, the older I get, oh my gosh. Matter of fact, James, I don't think it'll let you put a link in here to it. But, guys, anytime you see neat stuff like that, do me a favor. Go down, comment, put a link down in the comments after the live video or something. I love seeing stuff like that. And, man, I have no problem ordering something, getting it in, and showing people. And, James, I forgot about that until you made the comment. I think I actually looked at it that night as soon as I got done. And then by the time next day came around, I'd completely forgot about it. That's why when you said that, I looked at it like, wait, what dolly? But I do remember. It's all looking slick, Will. Well done. Absolutely. Man, I'm telling you what, Neil, Will has done great things. I know that everybody sees me in front of the camera and they're like, oh my gosh, Roger's just killing it on YouTube. Let me tell you what, I've got Will, a CMO. His title is actually Digital Overlord, and he helps make sure all my social media does what it's supposed to do. He's the one that puts in the link. You can click right down there, share this live stream. Go down in the bottom, click on it, go over to Facebook and say, check me out. And one thing, and Neil can tell you about it, that we do is I've got people that I follow on the weekends, and I'll take a selfie of me with the monitor right there and say, hey guys, if you want to learn to grow on social media the way I am, click this link. And I mean, you actually go down to the bottom, click share, put that link out there. And man, it is really cool. So anyway, I invite people to learn what I'm learning. But yes, Will's done a great job. And you're right, Will, it's only going to get better. We're actually looking at a new camera right now. Actually, we're looking at a couple of new cameras, and not sewer cameras, real cameras. But we have released video with the sewer camera. So you never know what you'll get around here. Christopher Salas, hola, how we doing? Emmett Villarreal, you're doing IBW apprenticeship. Fantastic. when you're finished, can you also do a plumbing apprenticeship in the union? And actually, yeah, you can. Here's the thing though. Whenever you finish your electrical, they're going to have you so brainwashed you'll never want to do plumbing in your life. Not really. But here's the deal. When you finish your apprenticeship training in the union, the IBEW or union or United Association, whichever one, when you finish that, you're going to be making so much money you're not going to want to go back to your apprentice wages. Now, would it be smart to do? Absolutely. And here's why. If you are a master plumber and a master electrician and a master HVAC tech, and you can open your own company, run all three infinities, and be a rock star because you're going to be able to communicate with every one of your guys. You're going to be able to, talk to any customer about anything and let them know, oh, by the way, while we're here fixing this, we looked at that and we noticed this was making a noise or this is a problem. Man, that is phenomenal. So, yes, you can, but Emmett, you're probably not going to want to because think about it. If you turned out of the union last year, the plumbers union, and made $32 an hour and then signed up in the electrical union, August, and they said, okay, you can start out at $16, $50, $17 an hour, you're going to say, yeah, it's okay. I think I'll keep being an electrician. And I get it. It makes perfect sense. Extra $32,000 a year. It adds up. Urban Explorer, you're following good people, and they're showing me a lot. Absolutely. Also rang your office the other day and left a message for you. Yeah, and I love that. And guys, look, I get calls from Germany. I get calls from Norway. I get calls from Sweden. I get calls from the United Kingdom, Australia. We get calls from around the world, people wanting to get into the trades. And Neil, if you were calling for me to come to your house and unstop your plumbing, it's going to be very expensive. Just giving you a heads up. But there's a lot of things that I love about YouTube. I love helping people. And for me to help people get into the trades, learn more about the trades, or how to start their own business once they're in the trades, man, why not? It's a great thing to do. Jason H., how are you? Good to have you in here. I can't tell because I don't have my glasses on. Is that a California flag? And, I mean, no glasses that far away, and that dot's about that big around. So if it's not, don't hate me. Miss Michelle, new to my channel, already helped me make a decision on hot water heaters. Michelle, tell me what decision I helped you make. What kind of water heater did you have? What did you go to? And what was it that we said that helped you or helped you make up your mind? You're not old, you're ancient. Does your high school GPA matter if you want to join a plumbing union? I really don't think it does. I know that they ask for a copy of your transcript. I literally think that is just that is just to go in and see, did you graduate? Did you pass high school? And I'm going to Will's going to bust me for that cut that I did. But here's the deal. They want to know, did you go to high school? I think they're going to look at your attendance. Were you there most of the time? And I mean, think about it, guys. If you go to work for a plumbing company and you are an apprentice, if you go in and you show up and you're there, 20% of the time, you're there 4 out of 5 days a week, or, 3.5 out of the 4 months or weeks out of the month. Guys, you're putting that plumbing company in a bad spot because they hired you because they need you and they want you there and they depend on you, but then something happens and you don't show up most of the time. So a good thing is to look at somebody's high school transcript. Is this person showing up? Is this person doing what they're supposed to do? And are they going to continue doing that? So they're probably not looking at your grades. I don't think that they expect us to be rocket scientists or anything like that. But go back and listen to George Bush. If you're a C level student, congratulations, you too can become president of the United States. And it's true. Grayson, how are you? Good to have you in here. 27. Ooh, and it jumped on me again. So I got to roll back up. 27 in its live feed and only 3 likes. Yeah, I know, man. And I don't even get to see the likes from where I'm at. So it's good. Yeah, I guess I'm on a different screen than I was last time. I'll scroll down. I can't see. Uh, yeah, so I don't get to see the likes, but yeah, if there's 20, 30 people watching, only 3 likes, I'm not doing something good. Victor Jimenez, do you know any cities looking for union plumbers right now? Union plumbers or plumbing apprentices? Just asking because it's going to vary. But yeah, we're looking for plumbers all across the United States. Got Miss Christina Smallhorn in the house. Guys, this is another one. If you're not connected with the Urban Explorer, Christina Smallhorn, these are people that are really, really good to get to know. Again, watch what they do on YouTube. R&D, rip off and duplicate. We've got some great people in here. We have great people jump in all the time. Speaking of, right down below it, Mr. Jeremy Vest. So there are some fantastic people in here all the time. And those of y'all that want to learn how to do social media, man, getting in here and watching this it's a great way to do it. Yes, Christina, you said it right. Would get signed permission before videoing a home. And I mentioned that, guys, you can't just walk in and just start videoing people's stuff. You've got to ask them. James mentioned Gnarly Carl. Yeah, another plumber on social media doing things good. Christina, nothing wrong with getting a little dirty. I tell you what, I enjoy it. I got to tell you. You know, when I was little, I would get in trouble for playing in the mud. Now it's funny because I get paid to play in the mud, and I'm not going to tell a whole lot of people, but I get paid pretty good to play in the mud, and I enjoy it. It is a lot of fun. Jeremy, good to have you here, brother. Satan's up in Canada. Okay. Satan, and I have people reach out to me all the time from Canada asking about the trades and how to get in. And I know you've got a red card and you've got to go to school or uni or whatnot. It's really interesting because my thought is, how do y'all get to decide? I mean, do you get to decide where you want to go? Is there only one certain college or trade school, or how's it set up? And I've had people tell me why I'm set up to go for a first or a level 1 or level 2 or whatever it is. And look, down here, I don't understand that. In Texas, we've got a tradesman, a journeyman, and a master. A lot of different things and different ways to look at it. But it's for the most part, it's either you're a plumber or you're not. Like I tell people all the time, take my little free mini course to find out about commercial, residential, new construction and service, union and non-union, and it just kind of explains what all it is. I'll tell you what, I want you to know, Christina, I see you, and I don't know if he's replied yet. You asked how Jeremy's new job is. Guys, I want you to know, Jeremy is one of the best and brightest YouTubers I've ever met. And he worked for a company teaching people how to do YouTube and help them grow drastically. Now he works for Braille Skateboards, and they have this huge YouTube channel. And I mean, can you imagine being a YouTuber that loves to skateboard, and then you get a job doing YouTube and social media for a skateboard company, for the best skateboard company? I mean, that's like a dream gig. Anyway, that's fantastic. Jeremy, congratulations. Glad to have you in here. Dribble saying, what do you think about asbestos? Don't snort it. It's not good for you. I've been around plumbing. I'm joking. I've been around plumbing for a long time, and I've actually been checked. I went in because they told me a mild case of asthma. So I said, hey, look, I'm in construction. I'm in plumbing around asbestos. They did the mesothelioma test, and they said, look, your lungs look fine. I really don't think that there's enough asbestos anymore for people to really worry about in the trades. I know that we go in, we abate buildings before we go in and do any work. I love it because I probably know as much or more about it than most general contractors. I love it when I come into a job and they're like, hey, we want y'all to do this and y'all do that. I'm like, we ain't doing it. And they're like, well, it's in your contract. You have to. It's like, dude, I know what asbestos is. I know how to read the reports, and we're not doing it. And I upset them, but you know what? It's not worth my guys getting into an area that they don't need to be in. So always think about that and always look out for your people any chance you get. I don't think that there's a lot of it around. And as long as if there is and you know what to do, how to do it, and how to be careful with it, you're always going to be okay. Miss Michelle, thank you very much. DJ Double M, your message got retracted. Grayson's in the house showing the big guns. Jason G, good to have you back in here. How are you? You know what? And Grayson, you're right. My video editor is phenomenal. And I was going to talk about you a while ago. I know I got off on Will. I've got an amazing team around me. And people ask all the time, well, why do you want sponsors? Well, I got to pay these guys. And I mean, I know I'm good looking and a lot of fun to hang out with, but they don't do it for free. Man, something just happened. I got 0 people watching, so that disappeared quick. Guess I really upset a lot of y'all. And that's the funny thing about this. It changes drastically from one minute to the next, but it's fine. But, I have got wonderful people around me. I love it. Got Paul Peck Drywall Tube in the house. Good to have you here, brother. Man, I got to make a phone call to you. You and I really need to talk. But I do. I've got the best video people. And Jeremy and I had this conversation the other day about how good the team that we've put together here is. And I love it. I love that Will and Grayson both are great at what they do. What they don't know, they learn. Man, but they both know it pretty daggum good. So I thoroughly enjoy that, and it sure does make life a whole lot easier. DJ Double M, what advice do you give someone who is now in the plumbing trade for 2 years? Okay, questions for you. And let's check this out. Do you do commercial or residential? New construction or service? Union or non-union? And what do you want to do when you get out? What is your end game? And I ask people that a lot because we can all have a 1-year plan, a 1, a 3, and a 5-year plan, or even a 1, a 2, and a 3-year plan. But down the road, and remember, whenever I was an instructor in a union, I used to ask my first-year apprentices all the time, what do you want to be? When it's all said and done, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a plumber? Do you want to be a foreman, a superintendent, a general superintendent, director of operations, project manager? Do you want to own your own company? What do you want to do? So I'm going to ask you that because it'll get down to what recommendations I have for you. But always think about your end game. James Cunningham, almost sounds like you need a dedicated line just for social media calls. Yeah, I've got it. It's right there. It's my cell phone. That's where they all end up. What's the story on the trinkets in the background? AM, how are you doing? Man, a lot of it, I've got some really cool stuff. I've got, my caps. I've got caps from Vid Summit. I've got a license plate there. Love Thy Plumber. My Longhorn cap right here is actually signed by the great Earl Campbell. I've got a Longhorn, Nebraska football up here that is actually signed by Darrell Royal and Roosevelt Leaks. I've got glasses up there with my initials on them. I've got more caps. I've got Easy Grind cap up there, which man, that's one of the tools that I recommend on one of my videos. Great inside cutter. And then I've got a really cool one here, and I don't know if it'll let me show it. And first, I'm going to tell you what it is. Vengeance HMLA 4691. I was interviewed by Rich Cardona, a great guy. And I'm going to hold this up here for just a second and let y'all see that so I can put it back. And it's funny because, and I see it's blurry. That's right. The focus is on me, as well as it should be. It's funny because I've had people see that patch sitting back on the shelf like that, and they're like, "Hey, tell me about that HMLA patch." And Rich Cardona, if you're not connected with him on LinkedIn, an amazing guy, really helping veterans and business and all kinds of different things. But anyway, he came down here to interview me. It was a blast. We hit it off. He's a great guy. So pretty cool deal. Those are most of my trinkets. Jason H., how are you? Yes, I'm assuming that means yes. I know it's good to have you back in here. Paul, what you been up to, brother? You're safe. Urban Explorer, absolutely. One thing I'll say about the people we all know, mate, is original. We're all doing our thing our way. No rip-off channels here. And, and that's true. And when I say rip-off and duplicate, guys, I don't mean go over and watch Neil's channel and start doing the exact thing he is. But what I mean is find a way to make it yours. Find a way to make what I'm doing yours. I watch Paul Peck's videos, love what he's doing. And I promise you, if he does anything I want to copy, I'm going to be like, man, I want to try that. I was watching his lives. He started his lives. When I first started doing my videos, I was sitting at my desk and had a camera. And once I built the studio, I was like, you know what? I'm going to change things up a little bit. But I still go back and watch what he does because the content, the way he's growing, the things he's doing, he's amazing. And that's why I say, guys, if y'all aren't connected with or subscribed to the people in here, Urban Explorer, Paul Peck, Jeremy Vest, God, Grayson and Will, all of these guys are doing wonderful things. And it's nice to have somebody to learn from. And they really are fantastic. So check them out. Let me see. Paul Peck, got that. Urban Explorer, true that. Kind of have a Super Bowl hangover. You don't get many Englishmen saying that. Well, we don't consider you an Englishman. You've been over here enough. We get to see you all the time. It's like you're in the family. And I know you're an Englishman. Every time I watch your videos, trust me, I know. James, back in the day, your mother once told me she could tell how much fun you had by how dirty I was. Man, and that's a great way to put it. And there are days, and it's funny because somebody left a comment on one of the videos that I did just the other day, and they're like, Roger, it's so funny. You pull up in a Hummer, which it's not a Hummer, it's a Jeep. The only difference is really the price tag. I pull up in a Hummer in starched jeans, nice shirt, walk up and just jump in a mud hole to go under a house. Guys, it's part of my job. It is what it is. It doesn't bother me. I love it. Getting dirty, okay. Like somebody says, look, it'll all wash off. There's nothing there that won't wash off. And I say that there probably is, but as long as I don't know about it, it's okay. I'll jump in. Anyway, it's all right, man. Just have fun. All right. Back in the day, I love that. Lake Barksdale, at 25,000 subs, please do a live stream of you. What? Lake Barksdale, are you, man, I tell you, and I thought we was friends there for a minute. Shave my mustache with a single blade at that. Jeremy, what would Dollar Shave Club give me to shave off my mustache? Just curious. Pretty funny. Townsend, do you guys install tankless water heaters at Texas Green Plumbing? If so, do you build mounting walls and attics for them, and how? Absolutely. We want something sturdy to mount it on, so yes, we build them ourselves. Guys, here's the deal. And I had somebody reach out to me the other day about tankless water heaters. And tankless water heaters aren't always the way to go. Are they a great option? Is there a great ROI on them? Absolutely. As a green plumber, do I believe in them? Absolutely. Do I still think that it's always the right thing? No. And somebody who walks in trying to sell you one and tells you all the time, oh yeah, everybody needs a tankless. Well, that's not always true, but I know that they believe that. So let them believe it. Let them do what they want to do. But times when it comes to building the wall to mount it on, I want to know it's done right. So yes, I prefer that we do it. Now, we don't always. If there's one already there and it's solid and it's good, I have no problem with it. James Cunningham. Okay, Grayson, Talking about me shaving on my mustache, that ain't funny. James Cunningham, best advice I was given about asbestos is just don't touch it. As long as it isn't disturbed, it won't become airborne. And that's true. And the right word is friable. Once you start scraping it, cutting it, anything like that, once it becomes airborne dust, that's when it's dangerous, because that's when you can get it down into your lungs. So great way to put at it. Townsend, I appreciate that. Oh, sorry, James Cunningham. Thank you. See, I don't have my glasses on, guys. Got to keep leaning back. There we go. Christina saying hello to Policy. Everybody here knows everybody. That's what's so neat about this. And like I said, such amazing people. Christina, another one. Follow her, subscribe to her channel, watch what she does, putting out amazing content. And that's what it's all about. AM, what should you know before going into your first interview for residential service plumbing, non-union? I tell you what, and AM, what I would do is go through and look at a lot of my videos about getting that first plumbing job, because I talk about that. Matter of fact, I had some people really upset that all I did was talk about the interview process for the most part. And they wanted to know, how do I find the job? How do I do this? And look, it takes all parts of it. You've got an interview lined up, so that would be a good one. Go in and look, what are you going to dress like? And I've had people ask me, look, should I wear a suit into an interview? No, you're a plumber. Don't go in way overdressed for the job you're trying to get. Dress for the job you're trying to get. Just dress for the job you want. And that's one thing that I learned later in my career is dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And that's when I started. I mean, even as a plumber, guys, when I worked for other people, I wore starched jeans, starched shirt, tucked in. I don't tuck them in anymore. But there's always a way to impress the people, and that's part of it. Dress for the job you're applying for, and dress like you really want it. Dress really good. So that will help you there. Ringo Hayes, how are you? Hi, Roger. Are your customers or are your employees your greatest asset? Man, that is a freaking great way to put that. And the reason I say that is I think everybody would tell you their customers are. And, you know, the customers pay the bills. I get that. But, man, your employees have always got to be your greatest asset. And that's why nurturing that relationship, taking care of your employees is huge. And but then again, it's also got to turn around. And I had this meeting this morning with my guys. And we were literally talking about whenever I was running big jobs for the union, I remember being at the safety meeting in the morning when people first came out to this project out at the airport. And a lot of them said they didn't want to be there because we were subbing the work from a non-union contractor. And man, some of these guys are like, hey, look, I don't want to be here. I don't want to work for me. It's like, so go home. But we're going to have about 50 to 80 people on this crew. And it's still going to be subbed from a non-union contractor. And if the bench is full and you're sitting on it and they send you out here, I'm going to tell them to keep you, that you don't want to work out here. And the way we've got to look at it, and that's why I said, Ringo, I think this is a great question. As a company owner, your employees always have to be your greatest asset. Now, you have to teach them the culture and hope that they help you build the customer base to grow from. But I can have all the customers in Dallas, but if I don't have good plumbers that are going to take care of them, I'm not going to keep them long. Now, you can turn that around and say, well, man, I can have the greatest employees in Dallas and not have any customers, and I'm going to lose the employees. It's a fine line you got to walk in there and get to where you're juggling things right. But I will take dedicated employees that understand the culture and want to be part of it over a phone ringing all day long and me having the wrong plumbers any day of the week. Great question, man. I appreciate that. That is probably one of the better questions I've had in here is a long time. And I was trying to like heart it or something, and I can't even do that. Longhorn isn't amazing as a small horn. You know what? I'm a Longhorn fan, a small horn, so I tell you what, I think about you every time I hear Darrell Lee say, small horn. Thomas Curl, Should hand tools be supplied by the employees or the company? Thomas, I'm going to tell you, I came up open shop, so I had always supplied my hand tools. Then when I got into the union, when I first got into the union supplied everything. I mean, I was not even allowed to bring a tape measure onto the job. At least when it was mine. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had my tool bag that they gave me that had all my tools in it, I could do that. But I could not just say, oh my gosh, you know what? I want a new handsaw and go buy one tomorrow. You had to go through the employer because the employer supplied everything. Now it's changed a lot. They give us, I think, 10 cents an hour to help us replace tools. So that's the thing on that. I've always thought that employees should supply their own. And the reason is that whenever I was a superintendent in the union, when the union supplied people's tools, they didn't care about them. They'd leave stuff everywhere and then just come the next day and say, hey, I need another pair of channel locks. And they don't have anything in it. They're not vested in it. They really don't care. But that's why I had the meeting with my guys this morning, explaining to them, look, our customers, whether if you're in commercial, it's the customer you're working with, or if you're in residential, it's the homeowner. But they are the lifeblood of our company. We've got to take care of them because they pay for everything we do. The dinner we go to on Friday night with our wife or girlfriend, the new clothes that our kids are wearing to school next week, the skating party that they want to do this week, our customers pay for everything we do, and we have to treat them accordingly. And I've got a real estate agent here in Dallas that I work for a lot. His name is Rogers Healy, and he puts it like this, or his dad does actually. His dad says, fall in love with every customer you have, and you'll never treat them wrong. And man, first time I heard that, I thought it was phenomenal. So we have to take care of the companies. And if that means we have to supply our own tools and take care of them, and I'm fine with that. DJ Double M, is there any pull-out faucet with cold water supply only? I would bet that there is. I would bet somewhere down the way there's a single handle, single handle pull-out faucet. If not, you could always take the hot side where it comes out, put a threaded cap on it and cap it off. That way you don't have any problem with it. So yeah, you could make a cold only out of a hot or cold and be fine. Paul Peck, you are more than welcome. I mean, look guys, I did not invent even the live stream. I did not invent the videos. I watched people like Neil, the Urban Explorer, Paul Peck, Christina Smallhorn, Jeremy Vest, Darrell Eves, Sean Cannell. There's so many people that I've watched and learned from to learn how to do what we do. And man, Jeremy has helped me amazingly. But watching other people, that helps me too, because I watch people and I'm like, I want to do that. And we study it and figure it out and go from there. Carson Hutchins, having trouble choosing between plumbing and electrical. Carson, if your IQ is over 3, you have to be a plumber. If it's under 3, you're just going to be an electrician. That's all there is to it. And Carson, I'm joking. Look, I love that. Number one, I love the fact that you're even thinking about both trades. I knew that I was going to be plumbing because that's what my friend's dad was. And it goes back to even you, Carson. I would say, look, take my plumbing, my little mini course, because it's going to ask you about residential and commercial, service and new construction, union or non-union. And those are questions you need to ask whether you want to be a plumber, electrician, an HVAC tech, a roofer, a carpenter. It doesn't matter. Those are questions you need to know so you understand. I mean, I tell people all the time, when I first got into plumbing, I just thought there were just plumbers. Had no idea that there's that many different kind of plumbers. They all do different things and they all focus on different things. And they get paid different too, so it's kind of up to you. But I love the fact that you're at least thinking about everything. Neil, good to see you, brother. 4 real estate voiceovers to do and don't want to upset the small horns. I know, because she shouts out and gets angry at me all the time. Neil, love what you do, brother. Like I said, guys, if you have not gone over and subscribed to the Urban Explorer, Paul Peck, Christina Smallhorn, Jeremy Vest, guys, go check their channels out. Maybe not right this second, but after we get off. These are all great people to learn from, get to know from. And man, they're all just great people. And that really is what makes it cool. So Neil, have a good one, brother. Thank you so much. Glad you came by. Okay. Townsend Moore. Tankless isn't always good because a gas upgrade can be pricey, but you can make some money doing them. Absolutely. But you've also got to have the right plumbers doing it right. There's a lot of things about it. There's a lot to it. But you're right. If it's done right, and it's not just that it's a lot of money that a plumber charges, it's a lot of money because it's worth it. When you can save the kind of money you can save, the ROI you can get on a tankless it makes it worth it. Max Eberly, how are you? Should you try to get a bachelor's degree before getting into the trades or become a plumber's apprentice right after high school? Max, I got a question, and this is just my first thought, is why would you want a bachelor's degree if you know you want to be a plumber? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not a great idea. What I think I would do is I would go ahead and get in the trades to start learning the plumbing career. If you still want a bachelor's degree, you can go to school at night. If you're in the union, I took the UA STAR exam a few years ago. I made a 93 or 94 on it. And I think because I passed that exam, I got 32 college hours that I can put towards a bachelor's or master's or whatever I want to do. So there's a lot of opportunity out there to do a lot of different things. And it's really up to you what you do, how you do it. But I'll tell you what, I love the fact that, number one, you're thinking about the trades. Number two, you're also thinking about a bachelor's degree. What are you wanting to get your degree in? Because there's not a lot of degrees really that I think that would help me out a lot as a plumber, maybe as a plumbing company owner, but just something to look at and something to think about. And I keep watching that. We should be hitting about 24,900 here real quick. So what that means, we're almost at 25,000 subscribers. And Max, sorry that I derailed you to look at that. I saw the number pop up there and I thought it said 24.5 or 24.9. So anyway, I would think, man, get into the trades as soon as you can. That's going to get you where you're making money. The bachelor's degree, if it's in business or something where you think it can help you run a business and that's what you want to do, I would definitely pursue it later. But, and you sound like you're smart enough to understand that that's an opportunity you may want to pursue. What I would do is look at getting to making the money first. Get that plumbing license first. Carson Hutchins, senior in high school, and it's crazy to you how many people are going to college and no one talks about getting into the trades. Carson, do you hear me here talking? Okay, this is what, look, if there was a soapbox in here, I would get up on it because this is what I'm preaching about, getting into the trades. And it's not just plumbing. I tell people all the time, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, sheetrock, drywall, painting, carpentry, glaziers. I mean, there are so many different things that you can do in the trades. You don't go to college. You don't have the student debt. You don't have all that money that you're paying. Instead, over the course of a 4 or 5 year program, you can make about $200,000 to $300,000. What's that college going to cost you in that amount of time? Because my guess from the numbers I figured is it's going to be anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 in debt, not counting all the money you spend that you're not taking on that debt for. But man, I'll take that delta any day of the week because my thought is if I could go to trade school or get a job, and trade school in the union, it's paid for by the contractor. It's not like they charge you for it. But my thought is if I could do that and make $300,000 and invest that money, even invest half of it. Say I could invest $150,000 over 5 years. Man, what would that be in 5 years or 10 years or 25 or 30 years? And I know people that think like that. Unfortunately, my dumb butt never did. So I always look at it this way. Man, if I'd have learned how to spend money, That's what we need to get to teaching in high school, in college. How do you spend money? Because the plumbers out there that are broke, I know plumbers that make $60,000, $70,000 a year, but they're still broke. They live paycheck to paycheck. And it's just because we're not taught how to spend money. And I think that's a big deal. Paul Peck, I figured you would. And in the union, the union has to pay for all the power tools, the sewer machines, the sawzalls, the this, the that, yada, yada, yada. And don't get me wrong, I have guys that are like, look, I want this sawzall. So they'll bring in their own. And that's fine now because the union gives us an allowance to buy the tools. So a good way to look at it. So, Carson, I hope that helps you. Man, where'd I go to? Oh, yes. I agree with you. Thank you. I hope that helps. Taylor Horton, thank you so much for the study guide video. Just failed your written tradesman test. Couldn't find anything to study for it. I don't want to go back to Austin more than I have to. Thanks again. I'm gonna pull this out because I literally just I don't know if the video's already out or if it just came out or fixing to, and it may be the one out today, and you could probably tell me that. But as you can see, I've got my pages or my answers highlighted, and I made a video explaining how I go through the back of the book, come up here, highlight it, and you can see the yellow there. That way, when I read this question, all I read is the correct answer. And if that's the one you're talking about, it must have just came out because we shot it last week. But I'm telling you, I think that is probably one of the best things I've ever done to study for an exam. And when I did it and did it consistently, oh my gosh, it was huge for me. Yeah, that's a big deal. You do it's in a house, Big John. Good to have you in here, brother. Talk about somebody else doing things right. And, I know I've talked about Neil and Christina and Paul and Jeremy and, man, Big John, another cool YouTuber, doing things great. And we get in here, we get to meet these people and talk to these people. But I tell you what, meeting him in person, and I've met all these people in person. And it's lucky because this is such an amazing community that when we get together, man, it's how can we help each other? And, think about it in the trades. If there's a plumbing convention, everybody goes to the plumbing convention. Nobody wants to share information as to how they can help anybody. It's like, wait, what's in it for me? But when we're all at social media conferences, it's like, oh my gosh, what can I do for you? What can I help you with? Hey, have you thought about this? Hey, you need to meet so-and-so. And guys, I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. Big John, glad to have you here, brother. Sheila G. Hello, just listening along today. Just want to say, Carson, good luck to you. The trades is where it is. Be proud, be professional, and get that money. Sheila, you are all over it. I completely agree. E. Thompson is going to technical school before becoming a plumber's apprentice good. And it really depends on the school, the quality of the education you get, and what kind of plumber you're trying to be. Think about my company right now. I'm a residential service plumbing company. Yes, I know I'm union. My union teaches commercial construction, so they can't feed a lot of people to me. So literally what I have to do is I have to hire plumbers, send them to the union to learn commercial construction while I teach them residential service. And man, it's kind of tough. I've got videos out there where I talk about the union. It's like, look, it's great for an employee, but if you're an employer, sometimes being in the union, man, it ain't worth it. With everything I pay and everything I do, it costs a lot of money for me to be involved in the union. And it's kind of a tough thing to do as a business owner. But as an employee, man, I recommend to every employee out there, look, I would look at the union and what is that option because of the benefits, the pay, the pension, everything involved. So there's a lot of good things on both sides, just as an employee, not an employer. So is going to college a good thing before? It really depends on what kind of apprentice you want to be. I don't know that I'd go to technical college unless they were just amazing and it would help me place a little higher up in the union, uh, get on a truck a little faster to make more money. There's a lot of things that I would check into. And if you want to reach out to me, man, reach out and we'll talk about what kind of plumber you want to be. But that's what I would say is start with that mini course, go in and learn residential, commercial, service, new construction, union, non-union. What kind of plumber do you want to be? Because it really does make a difference. You do it. Max IMO wouldn't benefit. Okay, here we go. It would benefit you and your employer if you understand how business operates efficiently. Read the Michael Gerber's E-Myth series and also Simon Sinek's Start With Why. Big John, I love that. And I know that some of y'all know, Michael Gerber was the first coach I ever had. I went to a live session that he did in San Diego, and then I hired him and worked with him for 6 months, and it helped me out a lot. Michael is phenomenal. Simon Sinek, oh my God, Start With Why. If you can figure out the limbic system and how it works and how to get in there and make people understand what you're doing, it's huge. So, Big John, great having you in here, brother. I appreciate that. You don't think a degree will help you. You may only use 5% of your degree. And that's true. And there's a lot to it. So, well, I said Sheila G a while ago. Sheila G and Steve G both in here? Steve, if I called you Sheila, I'm sorry. I just looked down there and saw Steve G. I think Sheila G's in here too. And I know that I've got one, so go back and look through my comments if you don't think so. I don't have my readers on, guys, so it is what it is. Michael Gerber, and here's the deal, Big John, you know me, I'm a trades guy. And working with Michael Gerber was great, but Michael taught me what I needed to do. The thing is, as a trades guy, I didn't necessarily know how to do it. And that was a big step for me. Getting involved with Master Networks and some other groups that I'm in and things like that have helped me learn a lot and helped me get to where I want to be. So, y'all want to learn how to network and grow your business, get in touch with me, and I'll hook you up with people all across the United States that can literally help you grow, and that's a great thing. Big John, you are welcome. Steve G, great way. Absolutely. Flashcards are great. I love that. And what I do there, Steve, is go through that study guide, do it the same way. Get the flashcards to where, all you're seeing is the question. You know the right answer. It's on the back. But I love the idea of doing it like I did. I can't tell you how many tests I've taken like that, where you just read through question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. And it helps. Charles Johnson, 31-year-old software developer looking to switch careers to plumbing, was advised to look into PHCC Academy. Do you have any opinion on PHCC? I actually love PHCC. I've talked to people across the nation that are involved in PHCC. I think the next president talked to him, actually spoke with him down in Austin at the Capitol for the Plumbers Rally. I like PHCC. I think they've got a good training program. I had an apprentice a while back that was actually looking at PHCC's training program. He says, look, I don't like what the union's teaching. I'm thinking about leaving and going to PHCC. I need to check back with him and see what he ever did. But anyway, it's a big deal. Getting the right training is huge. And he was looking around and he's like, hey, I think that's what I want to do. PHCC, tell me this, Charles. Have you checked into what it's going to cost you? I'm curious about what they charge just because of things that I'm working on. Saltine Cracker, 50% of your state's exam was takeoffs. Absolutely. Saltine, what state are you in? Ours wasn't so much on takeoffs, but it is a big deal. We actually have to do a rough here. Got Fraser O'Keefe. How we doing? Good to have you here. You do it. Charles, there you go. Software engineer for 30 years. What platform? This is a huge opportunity for you to look into the inefficiencies in the back room, estimating customer-facing apps, and write your own. And you know what, Big John, you're great there because My son is an estimator in the union. He loves it, but he's a computer guy. And don't get me wrong, he's amazing in the field. When it comes to takeoffs, estimating, stuff like that, he gets it. He sees it. So the transition was really, really good for him. I'm really glad to see him there because I think it's helped him a lot. And he gets to be in front of a computer. So he's happy. He enjoys what he does now. Charles has been doing IOS for 5 years, worked for DirecTV for 3. Man, y'all need to connect if you're not. It's awesome when you get into the plumbing field, start writing down the ideas, formulate the requirements, and soon you may be able to write your first application that will help Roger. Notice Charles, he said, help me, not all the other plumbing companies. Help me. I need help. He knows that. Southern Mama Drama. I love that name. That is great. I really do like that. You have an apprenticeship with Roto-Rooter in 2 weeks. Southern Mama Drama, tell me this. Where do you live? What? Oh, your wife's account. Okay. Hey, I know females in plumbing too. That's what I was going to say. I love it. I love the fact that females getting into plumbing. Charles Johnson, why are you looking to leave software development? See, Fraser will tell you too. Look, software development's good if you do it right. God, Big John will tell you that. If you're doing it right, you can get in there and, learn a lot of things. Consult with a plumber like me. I can tell you what we need to build. We can work on it together, and then we got a 50-50 app or product or something that could be phenomenal. Because I'm telling you, I've always got stuff in my head that I'm like, okay, we could do this, and that's a big deal. So your wife account, there you go. See, I like that you throw that in there now. Charles Johnson, trying to work for yourself, starting your own software company last year, but have not succeeded. And, let me ask you this, Charles. Are you using YouTube to communicate with people what you do, why you do, how you do it, different things like that? Because, man, I'll tell you what I've learned about YouTube. And let's kind of go back to, I'm a plumber. And I started studying social media almost a year ago. Actually, it's 10 months ago since we released our first video, meaning this is the 1st of February. The first week of April 2 years ago, we released our first video. I did not really start studying YouTube till the end of the year. And luckily for me, I was introduced to the right people at the right summits, and I knew where I wanted to go, what I wanted to learn, and how I wanted to do it. So it's always been really, really good for me because I walked into the right place at the right time, and the community was welcoming. Big John was there. First night I walked in. Actually, and it's not true. The first night I walked into the one here, I walked into an event in San Diego, and it was funny because I was talking. I've actually been asked to speak at a really big social media marketing event, and it's big to me because of the person running it. And I am so blessed to have the connections I have. But think about this, guys. There are people in social media that teach social media, do social media, and live social media, but they're not doing things right. They're trying to learn. They're trying to take shortcuts. They're trying to do hacks. Man, I'm learning to do it the right way, and that's what I'm trying to teach people. But I've been learning this for less than 2 years. I have had some amazing luck because of the people that I've met and the relationships I've built. So I love what I'm doing. Thomas Curl, some gas pipe is welded. Do you have a welder on staff or sub out the work? Thomas, I'm mainly residential, so I don't do a lot of gas pipe 2 inches and above. I've got a mega press. Man, it's so cool. Those of y'all that know, I was in Vegas last week or the week before. Maybe it was last week. It was the week before. I was in Vegas and actually got to go to the Viega booth, and they've now got capability of pressing, I believe it's up to 4-inch mega press. So to be honest, Thomas, I can eliminate a welder for a whole lot of stuff. Now, like I said, I really don't do a lot that's would ever need anything like that. Not a lot of commercial. Matter of fact, not hardly any commercial. And what I do is really just service. It's small stuff. I don't think that I would ever need a welder. I remember the first time that I went and applied for a plumbing job, and they looked at me and said, "Can you weld?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I'm a plumber." And the guy started laughing. He's like, "Well, some plumbing pipe needs to be welded." And I'm like, "Dude, what kind of plumbing have you been doing?" But it's true. And as I got into the union and learned and man, started broadening my field of knowledge, it became obvious that I didn't know near as much about plumbing as I thought I did. But it's been great because I have got to get in and learn a lot. So no, I don't do any plumbing. Luckily, with me being associated with the union here, if I ever need plumbers that can weld or welders, man, I can get them. And there's not a lot of plumbers that weld, not that good, but I can always get them. So it's always a good thing. So are you a welder? Is that why you're asking? Or are you wanting to be a welder, or what are you looking at? James Cunningham, it's definitely been fun watching your channel grow. Remember when you were introduced to my channel at the beginning of the fight for the Texas Plumbing Board? And, guys, it's still a fight. And I want to talk about that in a minute because I know that I shared something on Facebook that we'd be in here tonight. And I talked about the TSBPE. Man, things are still up in the air in Texas. And I know that the governor has stepped up and given us a stay of execution. He basically used an emergency situation, Hurricane Harvey, to say, hey, look, we've still got problems in Texas, so we can't let plumbers work here without a license. But I mean, guys, I hate to tell you that the Texas government has not filled the board seats. They're not doing the things that they were supposed to do that we were told, look, if you get to keep the board, you've got to do these things by September 1st. We're going to give you 3 months. And man, we got guys that the governor hadn't replaced from 2 years ago. And I hate to say it, but I think it's a joke. I think right now, I think the Texas government is a joke. And I mean, I don't want to get on a soapbox or anything, but if you've got board seats to fill and you can't fill them as the governor, get another governor in there that can. And I don't want to get off on anybody because I've applied for those seats. I don't think they'll ever pick me. I probably wouldn't pick myself based on the fact that they've upset me enough. I have no respect for them. And don't get me wrong, up before all this, I thought Governor Abbott had done a great job. I voted for Governor Abbott. I voted for Donald Trump. I still think Trump's doing a great job. So if you want to bust me for it, go ahead. But my thing is, we're still fighting for our license in Texas, and we're not getting help from our politicians. So, we've actually got a meeting this week about possibly doing another rally down here. I did get to speak at the last one. I actually got to MC it, which, man, I loved it. Getting to talk to 7,500 people about the plumbing license and what's going on and why we need to be fighting for it, guys, it's huge. So let me see. Do I know any plumbers that also offer plumbing repair or welding repairs? I do. I know some plumbers that know how to weld. That they're actually pretty daggum good. They don't do a lot of it. In the union, a plumber can stay busy all the time. I'm not saying a welder can't, but sometimes welders may need to go out of town. Welders may need to do certain things. And I think I've told you all the story before. I love that, Miss Michelle. Thank you. My thing is that I'm sorry, I started laughing about Miss Michelle. The welders are great, and I know the union. The union could probably own all the work in the world if it would get everybody, all the good welders or train the good welders. And man, the thing is, the welders in a union are taken care of. They make great money. They're prima donnas. I get it. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to have a skill in a trade. And I go back to this because, guys, the fact that y'all are here, these are people that want to learn more about the trades, learn how to get in the trades, learn how to be better at the trades. And I'm working on all kinds of different things to help get that information out there. And that's why I do. I love when y'all are in here. And man, I thoroughly enjoy what we've got going on. But I also want to tell you this too. When it's time for whatever state you're in to stand up and fight the government, stand up. Let your voice be heard. When I say fight, I don't mean physical. I don't mean calling people names or anything like that, but state the facts. When I say, hey, the governor has not filled those board seats, it's a fact. I've called the appointments people and talked to them, and they just keep saying, we're still working on it. Okay, wait. Y'all have been working on it almost a year. How long does it take to fill 3 empty seats from 2 years ago and 3 empty seats now? It shouldn't take that long. There's 71,000 applicants or people that you could choose from. And when I say that, I know it's 51,000 people, 71,000 licenses. But if you have not seen the Facebook group, hashtag 71K Plum Strong, man, go there and check it out. Because this is a fight that we're fighting all the time. Didn't mean to get up on the board, or up on my pedestal, but we're having a meeting this coming weekend, talking about it and what we need to do next. And to be honest, I think it's time for a rally again. I think we go down to the Capitol and we have another rally out on the lawn and, man, talk to our politicians, talk to our senators and representatives and tell them why we feel what we feel. Okay, here we go. Back up there. Oh, yeah. James Cunningham, see, you're going to get me twisted off. The last board meeting I went to, that's what I got up and complained about. I said, hey, how come there's somebody still on the board that let his license lapse? It clearly says in the plumbing license law and board rules, if you're on that board, you have to keep your license current. He didn't. Boot his butt out. And, okay, I'm going to get off my ladder again. Okay, so Townsend, you're talking about something like a spot repair on a gate or something. Yeah, that's easy welding. Welders, pipe fitters tend to be more commercial jobs. Yes, chill water systems, chill water, heating water, all kinds of stuff like that. Not general house welding though. Okay, Miss Michelle, that was funny. Okay, I really did. That made me laugh. James Cunningham, not to mention the board member. Yes, see? Saltine Cracker, you currently live in an area with no inspections for plumbing. There's no licensed plumbers around here. Man, where are you at? And I asked because even the plumbing license law in Texas used to be if you lived in a city that had less than 5,000 population, you didn't have to. But they started realizing people are getting shoddy work done. It's not healthy. It's not good for them. Don't do it. And that's kind of the way it worked out. So anyway, they've changed those laws. But, you know, if the Texas government has their way, they're not going to make a license required anyway. Dylan Stafford, is it more difficult to find good plumbers or tradesmen in 2020 than it used to be? When I attended high school, they would never tell you anything about trades, only the college route. Dylan, how old are you? Or when did you graduate? And the reason is when I was in high school, and I'm freaking old, when I was in high school, we had trade schools. And what I mean by that is we taught trades in the schools. I remember one of the schools had a plumbing class. We had metalworking, we had woodworking, we had cabinet shop or cabinet making. And I mean, literally, these cabinet makers could learn cabinet making in high school and get out and start a job as soon as they got out of high school. And, you know, that's another thing about me and the Texas government. One of the senators or politicians or senators or representatives had written a bill to pull the trades back into the high school, teach plumbing. And I don't remember if they had a 2-year or 4-year syllabus, but when this person got out of high school, they would basically be a tradesman. And I thought, wouldn't that be great? Be able to get out of high school and make $25 an hour, because that's about what tradesmen make around here. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a $50,000 a year job. Why don't we do that? Somebody made that go away. Take the good bills and make them go away, and let's try and push these bad ones through. Like, we don't need a license in Texas. Sorry, guys, I'm ranting. I know it. So let me see. Miss Michelle, The best thing about knowing a trade is that you can always work and don't have to be at the mercy of one employer. And that's true. Even in the union, in the union, you have a right to leave one company and go to work for another. And I know because over 20 years in the union, I did it. I didn't do it often. And people used to say, why do you leave a job? Well, I don't leave. People pay me to leave. And I would get an offer from another company and it would be substantial enough. It would be worth going. So I would. Miss Michelle, the best thing, okay, there's a squirrel outside my door out there, so if y'all hear my dog, I'm sorry. Miss Michelle, the best thing about knowing, there you go. Thomas Curl, same here. Finished high school in 94. All you heard about was college. And if you go and listen to Mike Rowe, and he talks about this, he said, we've been pushing college so long that the colleges are full. The colleges have known we've been pushing it, so they've raised the tuition to where it's out freaking rageous. They've got it set up where you can finance it for the rest of your life. So on the trades, you can join the trades, get out as a tradesman, as a journeyman in 4 to 5 years, depending on where you're at. And you can be making, let's say, just here in the Dallas area, $75,000, $80,000 a year, because that's what it's going to be by the time somebody started today. And the big deal about it is you can also go to college for that same amount of time, and it's going to cost you $100,000 to $200,000. And if you don't have that money, that's going to be student debt. Guys, I would pick the trades every day of the week, but I don't know. It's just kind of tough. So Dylan Stafford, 18, just graduated. Man, I would go straight into the trades and start soaking it up. Go watch the videos that I've done about how to study, how to get into the trades, how to find a job, how to learn to be a plumber. What kind of plumber do you want to be? And I use the word plumber, but guys, I'm talking the trades, any of the trades. When I say plumber, you can hear electrician, you can hear HVAC tech, you can hear drywall, you can hear roofer, hear whatever you want to hear. Hear the one you're interested in. But my thing is, learn a trade. Learn how to make money. What I like about the plumbing, electrical, drywall, even the HVAC, God, even the roofing. If you're doing residential, you can get out and open your own company pretty easy. It doesn't take a lot of backing. It takes a lot of smarts because there's a lot more to running a company than just knowing how to plumb. Go back to Big John, the E-Myth. So anyway, a lot of opportunity here, guys. Let me see. Rob Must, Dylan, you're not alone. Graduated in 2005 and 6. All you heard was college. Absolutely. James Cunningham, your school had a shop class for welding and auto mechanics. Not sure if they had other classes. Weatherford High School opened a trade building not long ago. Thomas Curl, Roger, you're 100% correct about the tuition cost. It's crazy. Okay, this is funny. I just want to show y'all.
Just a moment.
Siri is listening to me. Siri, is it smarter to be a plumber or go to college? Siri, can you hear me? Okay, she gave up. She doesn't know. She probably went to college. Stupid. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So shop classes, amen, I get it. Weatherford High School, Richardson High School is starting to do something in the trades. Wilmer Hutchins is doing something in the trades. And guys, I got to tell you, I think it's great. Thomas Curl, thank you. I agree. It's going to be crazy. HVAC and dang 008, 0088, man, you're right. HVAC, roofing, electrical, plumbing, painting, landscaping, sheetrock. God, man, electronics, switches, smart houses. Man, the world is changing. And I'll tell y'all this, and this is something that I think about a lot. And I'm not going to say college. Here's the thing. I know if she did, I'd have thrown her down. That didn't even sound right. Here's my thing. See, now I got messed up on where I was going with that. Oh, that was a good one too. Yeah, I'll just get back where I was. Miss Michelle, you helped me decide if I wanted to get a tankless water heater. Fantastic. After watching you decided to stay with the regular kind due to the cost, more work to put in the tankless, which would cost me more. And Miss Michelle, it would cost you a lot more. It does. I hate to tell people that, but man, it's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of extra gas to it, sometimes more power. We talked earlier about building a frame to mount it. There's a lot of things involved, but it's good stuff anyway. So guys, this is Monday night. Love it. Another week. We've had a great day today. I love what we do. I think y'all know that. I hope that y'all love it as much as we do. Let me know what you think about my little lower thirds there, the little things going across the bottom, the second camera. I know I didn't look at it tonight because I saw a video that I go back to R&D. I saw a video somebody did the other day, and they had the second camera, and literally they never looked at it. They looked here, and that was a B camera, and I really did. I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But when I look here, it looks pretty good whether I look at it or the other camera. But man, I love what we do. I hope that y'all like it. Big John, thank you very much. Man, this is fun. Getting to be a plumber, getting to talk to y'all, getting to do the things that we do, I think it's all fantastic. I love it, and I hope that y'all enjoy it as much as I do. If you haven't done it yet, please give me a thumbs up if you like what we do. If you hadn't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and ring the bell and share my channel. Tell other people about it. If you know anybody in the trades that, and see, now I'm looking at that camera. If you know anybody that is in high school that maybe would like to get into the trades, if you know people that, man, are thinking about a career change and they don't know what to do, a restoration company, water mitigation, and there are so many things out there that can be done. It's great. It's wonderful, and man, I really do. I hope you like it. If you do, give us a thumbs up. Let's talk about it. Share it. I'll be back here next Monday. I love doing this. And we're going to talk all the poop about plumbing. And Mitchell's Reviews, where did you get the green pipe wrench? Go back and watch the beginning of this video. It was great. I made it myself. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.